After ls, probably the most common file operations involve renaming, copying, and deleting files. Let's start off by creating a test file. You can ls it just to see that it's there. You can cat it. That's good. So it's there. Suppose we wanted to rename this to testfile.txt. So we could do that with the Unix move command, or mv. Like that. The way to make a copy of a file is to use the cp command like this. Run ls to see that they're both there. In fact, we can run ls star.txt to see that we've got the two sonnet files, and then we've got test file and second test right here. Suppose we wanted now to delete the second test file. The way to do that is with the rm, or remove command. Technically speaking, rm actually just deletes the file, but because the remove command in Unix is irreversible, most systems arrange for this sort of prompt to make sure that you really want to remove it. So you can say y for yes. By the way, so far I've been typing out the full name of each of these files, but in fact that's not how I would really do this normally. So let's touch this file. Just to create it, we can then ls it. Now I could up arrow a few times to get this rm again, but what I'm going to do is show you how to do what's called tab completion. I'm going to do rm and then s, and let's see, if I type tab, nothing happens. I'm going to type tab twice, so that's tab a second time. What this does is shows me all of the files or directories that start with the letter S. So I can go to this SE, and now when I tab, it completes it because the only file or directory in this current directory that starts with the letters SE is secondtest.txt. This works with most Unix commands. You can do things like ls-l, so, tab a couple times, tab a couple times. Now I could do sonnet, well, let's just do tab a couple times to see all the ones that are there. Sonnet star, sonnet 1 star. And you can see if you add more and keep hitting tab, then you can complete the whole thing. At this point, we don't actually need any of these text files anymore. So let's remove them all. Now remember that the way most systems are configured is to give you a prompt. That's really annoying though if you have a bunch of files you want to delete. So for example, if I were to do this, rm star.txt, it's going to ask me for every single file whether I really want to delete it. What I really want to do though is to say, no, really, I want to delete all of these files. And there's an option to do that called force. So I'm stuck here. How do I get out of it? Control C. In fact, let's do man rm. You can see here, -F for force attempts to remove files without prompting for confirmation. So let's try that. This is really dangerous, by the way. You need to type this just right. There are lots of ways to screw things up at this particular point. So it's very important that you type exactly what I'm about to type, which is star.txt. We'll be talking more about rm-f later in this tutorial, but just know that there's really no going back. This is permanent right now. You can see they're gone. One thing you might have noticed about these commands, things like ls, mv, cp, and rm, is that they're incredibly short. And in fact, they're pretty hard to remember when you're just starting out. They're so common that through usage, you'll very quickly learn what they do. But you might wonder, why aren't they called things like list, move, copy, and remove? And the answer is that Unix has been around for a long time. It dates from a time when most computer users logged onto central servers over slow connections. And there can be quite a noticeable delay between the time that a user pressed a key and the character appeared on the terminal screen. So it was important for the commands to be as short as possible. As a result, instead of typing something like list, we type ls, which is half as big.